Okay. We are going to output all of these artboards as separate, oops, as separate files. And then we're going to need to bring them into Photoshop and we're going to put each file on its own layer. So what we're going to do is go File, Export, Export As, and we're going to go ahead. Actually, I think we can do this a different way. Export as screen for screens, export for screens. Nope, we don't want to do independent assets independently from artboards. We want to do artboards. So you got it. There's two options here, assets or artboards. We want artboards. And we want to do all of our artboards. So we're going to click on the select all. Okay. So we're in the export for screens. We're going to select all of our artboards. And we are going to put these in a specific folder that I'm creating. I'm going to go to desktop, animated GIF project. Actually, I'm going to do a new folder. Let's go to desktop. Type class maiden GIF. Okay, so that's where it's going to go. I'm going to choose that. And so I'm going to create a subfolder in there. It's going to say, we're going to do it, we want it to be the format. We're going to choose a PNG. And we're going to say export artboards. And then it's telling me it's successfully complete. So I'm going to go out of that. And then I'm going to come into Photoshop. So now I'm in Photoshop. I have just made a document the exact same size as my document in Illustrator of one artboard because I only need one artboard. I only need one document. So I've made it 4x5. So it's exactly the size as our ratio of our design. And actually, though, you know what? I just realized I didn't make it the image size that we're doing. I did it in inches, but we're working in pixels. Who can tell me what our pixels were offhand? Does anyone have it handy?
1350 long ways, 1080 across ways.
Hey, hold on a second. Why isn't it giving me pixels as an option? Pixels, there we go. Was it 1360
You're on width, so it would be 1080.
and 1350, right?
By 1350, but you have to uncheck the link. Yeah. No. It's yeah, that one. It also went
Wait,
back to inches.
I didn't go to that. I thought we just put it in. So the width was what, 1080?
1080 width, 1350 height.
72 pixels resolution because we wanted screen resolution. Okay, and we're going to say okay. Wait, now why is it changing? Hold on, it changed my width again. Why isn't it listening to me? Hold on a second. My image size is all screwed up. 1080. Thirteen 1360. Write it, Rachel. 1080, 1360 is
1350.
50. Thank you. I knew something was wrong. 1080, 1350, 72. All right. Just going to double check that one more time just to make sure it didn't change. 1080, 1350, 72. All right. We got it. Okay, so now we're going to go open up the layers palette, and I have it open right here, and you can find it under window and just go to layers. Okay, and I'm going to scooch my window over a little bit. I'm going to that, and I'm going to go ahead to my folder that I created. That was tech class animated GIF. There's my PNGs. And I'm going to import these into each layer that I need. So I have my first layer. I'm going to make that layer, I'm going to call it 1 because this is going to be my first layer of my animation. I'm going to go File, Place, Embedded, and I'm going to go to my desktop, to my type class, and I'm going to call it Artboard 1 Place. Okay. And then I'm going to go into my next one. So I'm selecting my next layer. It just opened a new one for me. I'm going to go to File, Place Embedded, Artboard 2. And then I'm going to go, and you can see they're just going to lay it right on top of each other. And then I'm going to go to the next one, File, and I'm going to go keep going, Place Embedded, 3. Four. And I have to click off of it to the next layer in order to start the next placing. 5. Oh, I did 6 twice. All right, hold on. I'll do 6 twice. File, Place Embedded, 7. Almost there. And lastly, File, Place Embedded. It's a little tedious, but not hard. Okay, there we go. We don't need this one. Okay, so here we go. We got 1 through 10, and they're all just laying on top of each other. So you can see they're all there, all laying on top of each other. Okay. Now, I have already done it. I've opened up the timeline. So I'm going to go to Window, Timeline, and then down here, you're going to see at the bottom, let me pull this up a little so you can see it. There is a timeline. Now, it says the default is create a video timeline. We're not creating a video. So you want to click here and you want to create frame animation. This, when I first started using this timeline, confused the heck out of me because unless you put it saying create frame animation, you're going to be confounded at why it won't work, why this won't work the way you think it's supposed to. So make sure that you use that create frame animation. And so then you're going to go, so that's from window, just one more time, I'm going to show you that's window, timeline, and then that's how this shows up. And it shows up here at the bottom of your area here, okay? So the next thing is we're going to convert all of these layers we just made into frames. And so the right-hand corner of the timeline over here shows the idea of to take your layers and separate them into the frames within the window. So first of all, I'm going to select all of my windows, and I'm going to make frames from these layers. Let's see, I thought I would I have to remember it's been a minute since I've done this. Isn't it allowing me to, what am I missing? Panel options. Okay. What am I forgetting? I am forgetting something here, you guys. Give me 1 second here. Frame from layers. Add frame to layer. No, I don't think I want to do that. Why is it not showing me? Animation options. Okay. So once we have these all in, we're going to select them all. Hold the shift key down and select them all in your layers panel. Then the button here, create frame animation, is going to put them all right there. And so then we're going to say, make frames from layers. Now we have a frame from each of these layers. Okay. So now we can play the animation. So let's, as you can see, if we just turn it on, this is what's happening. It's going to give us a headache. So what we can do is determine right now they're at 0 seconds. You can see down here, I don't know if you guys can see it's so small down here, but each one of these has amount of time. So, oops, cancel. Of how many seconds. So we can decide how many seconds to make for each one. So we can say 1 second, 2 seconds. You can have them be different amounts. Let's make it 1 second, I think. 1. Let's just hit play on these first ones. Yeah, so because we have a lot of text, we're probably gonna want something more like 2 seconds. And this is where you're gonna, be an animator and kind of determine how much time each frame has. If you have a frame like this one isn't very much text, we might not need a whole 2 seconds. Maybe that's a 1 second frame, but like this one, where there's all of this text, this is probably going to be a 2 second frame. And then maybe this one is a 1 second frame because it's a shorter amount. This has more text. This is going to be maybe 2 seconds. So you can play with it. This is a shorter text. Maybe that's 1. You can make it different. You can make it all the same. It's really up to you what you want to do. and how you want it to flow. And you're going to change these times. Okay, so then the little play buttons are here. So now you can see this is how it's moving. And remember, this is a portfolio piece, so we don't want them to go too slow, and we don't want them to go too fast where you can't see the design. This is also a good way to test it and to see, is the text too small? Is there enough contrast? Am I seeing it okay? You know, that kind of thing. So you can have it then loop forever. You can have it loop 3 times or only once. I tend to leave them on forever, because then that kind of helps. Now you can also do, I'm going to pause it. You can also add tweens with next frame, and you can add like position, opacity, effects. You can play around with that. You can move things around in here if you want, and so on and so forth. So basically, when you have it all the way you want it, you want to export it and save it. So let's just talk about that now that we have our GIF going the way we want it. So here it is. And actually, if this is going backwards, which actually I think it is, if I'm not mistaken.
I was gonna say that number 10 should be number 1.
Yes, yes. And there's a way to flip it. Hold on a minute. I got to think about this.
Can
I
you
think it's
just
over.
you couldn't just drag it?
Well, the whole thing is backwards, I think.
Okay.
Is it, is the whole thing backwards, or is it just the one frame out of order?
My understanding is just
Shitong, is the whole thing backwards, or is it just one frame? Yeah, she's hearing me. You can reverse the frames over here. So it says right here, reverse frame. So I can just switch it. And so now the first frame is this one. Let me look on Illustrator. Let's look at the Illustrator file. Yep, that's right. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I said is the 10th. This is the first. So if we look here now, yep, there we go. Now it's the right way. So that was just under here. You can reverse your frames over here. Okay. Okay. So we've done that. We've got it. Thank you. Thank you, Raul. That was a good catch. So now we're going to go ahead up to File, Export, and then we're going to go to Save for Web, Legacy. Okay. And then we're going to save it as a GIF. So this is a GIF. So you have to make sure that the preset is GIF. And we're going to, I think that basically it's showing 1 of 10. So down here it's really small, but the looping option is forever. It's 1 of 10. Here's the play button. And so you can play it through just to see if it's all there. And sure enough, it's there. There's 4, there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it's just showing us a corner of it. All right. And so I'm going to go ahead and save it. And I'm going to call this my type demo GIF. And I'm going to put it on my desktop in class. And so it's going to be there, image only, save. Okay, so now let's go over to our folder. Here's our folder. Here's the type demo GIF. And even here in my little window, I can see it animating. And so it's already animating and working. I can then put it in my browser window. So I can open up a window here and I can go on to my type demo here and I can just bring this into here and hit enter and have it play here in my browser. And so this is a GIF that you can put it in your Behance portfolio design and it'll work on, you can put this on Slack and it'll work. It will work in a text message. It'll work on a browser. So it's super straightforward and pretty easy to secure. Okay. I am going to